be very short. I think I will not disturb your mail. So I should start introduce myself. I'm Adrián LLerena from Spain. I'm probably the unique native person in the room. So, and I'm the member of pharmacogenomics working group at the European Medicine Agency representing Spain. We have 8 persons regulating what are the biomarkers used here in Europe. And this is the last review that we did. I mean, if you are asking yourself how relevant are biomarkers now for pharmacogenomics for drug regulation in Europe, we know that 34% of the drugs that we have been reviewing during the last years in Europe has a and we are producing a lot in European medicine, clearly that we recommend rapid metabolism for any child that should use codeine. So, but the problem here comes because, of course, gene mutation could be related with metabolism, but people with ultra rapid we just published Nicaraguan. I mean, parts are, but some of them not. In Europe and in America, that we can follow because this is very simple. That people are just themselves. If you are performing clinical trials, all the performing in Europe, but in different whatever. Therefore, it would be very interesting in metabolism and some of the bio. You can hear how ultra are very high in this part of. We discover here in Spain the populations are ultra levels are very slow. Very low. Of course, you know that I'm sure of native Europeans. So the question Americans, I'm in Europe, the relevance of this. We are performing a lot of clinical FDA of EMC consortium in order to those populations. Research group that pheno and genotype that so far in the world, 1,000 healthy volunteers in the northern part of in Chile, plus part of this Latin American population. You hear those are the recommendations for that. The number of ultra rapids are this. When the number of native population increases, like here in Nicaragua, in Cuba, you see that ultra rapids decrease, and here in Nicaragua, when a lot of natives or Amerindians are there, you can't find any ultra rapids at all. And the message is, according to the ancestry of different populations here, now we are just performing molecular biomarkers. In red, you have the Caucasian region, and this is blue is the African region, and this green are pure American native blood. You can see we have a lot of pure isolated native tribes that has been studied. So, and we found that there are differences in the frequency of poor ultra-rapid metabolism, etc. So far, we can tell you that more or less as more native is a population, as less poor or ultra-rapid metabolism you will find there. Therefore, with all these changes in the world population, probably we need to put an eye on that and to change all the regulations. So, but the most important part of this network is training. I don't think I'm very much against gene hunting. People go to places collecting blood and moving blood around the world. We have we say that samples never flying alone in our network. Samples must be carried out with a young person in training. That's why we develop a network for training first, and doing mobility across all Latin America, including Europe countries. In this slide you see, so far we managed to have in the last 10 years 400 teaching activities across all Latin America, and those are the people that has been moving young people around different countries in order to be trained. Together with that, we build up a postgraduate training in learning in Spanish and Portuguese. And this is the network that is working so far, connecting people. I mean, these young people are already connected. We only need to put them to work in science together. I think they will develop a new world. So, what will be the relevance of this network in the future? We have a lot of new guidelines. Clinicians are not really aware here in Europe, and I don't think either in the United States, how regulation and liability will come in the future. This is, for instance, the latest guidelines that we produce at EMA concerning pharmacovigilance and pharmacogenomics, which is there. So, and this is my present research topic. So I'm really aware. I'm coming here. I'm sorry to think that will disappear. worry about the age because we are disappearing. The first cause of death is suicide. About the age, people are disappearing every year. If it will, probably we will have a lot of associations about that. But and whom are they? Young people. Last year, you see 800,000, specifically young is a peak, and in red, low-income countries. Humanity will disappear because young people are killing themselves of that. So we have been doing this when I also was a Swiss Institute, and we think that pharmacogenetics is 16. Endogenous factor, they are working. The latest studies that we see 36D ultra-rapid not only disorders, but also here in Madrid, and 500 people in Barcelona, and once faster metabolized they are more prone to violence. Reasons probably are treatment failure. We were following people in treatment fluoxetine, depressing those that the dropout, those who never came to the hospital, they were the ultra-rapid. I think that's why I keep you busy here, so to give you bad news, family there is coming. And in terms of, we need to be aware about the biggest health problem that we have, suicide, specifically young people. One effort here in Europe, the pharmacogenetics, the grammar school here, this is a place where the wildest is we will genotype all the try to protect people against bad drugs. And if you have anything, this is my email, Adrián LLerena. Thank you.
Yes, just about and Japan, they used highest just because they had better staff. They had a good record, the same all over. In 1995, which showed globally, and they projected 30, and that was the suicide rate jumped from 1995. So it is behind all this.
We will not mobile phones to. We need more marahas as you. Because people are, our medical faculty, we have one or two, not only are developed. So the population pyramid change. So all are living less. So in economics, I think this is a real, nobody cares. You are not, it's too tough. This is WHO data last month, back. This is the first cause of death among people. It's the first, more important. But why not yourself today? Here's sorry, I didn't get the question. Okay, we overusing medication. Medication are killing a lot of people. Although I'm leaving medication for the last. Pharmacogenetics may help a little bit to decrease of pharmacology.
SSRI taking suicide, particularly because also said that ultra-fast.
Yeah. Okay. Now there are two things. One is, which in people like young people use. This has nothing to do. This is just in old people as well. So we have been following on sexuality is most of the people, and that link, these side effects is linked with many women and young men. They stopped to take these. And at the end, it's a mix of things. Use molecular biology, people taking these drugs. The problem with suicide is a physical word. People are very acute.
How they absorb the impact, the environmental impact is different, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying that some impact, for example, the word. Some people going to absorb well, some people...
I know your insulin is now working as you need. The problem with the suicide is these people will too much, but the type of suicide, not the Swedish old business, this is one. Is, in other words, if you are not working in clinic, doing well with a normal attempt suicide with level of violence. This is a classical suicide with depression in a family, blah 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 blah. Business or psychiatrists, they can be rich. Best friends, which is the director of the biomedical research in UNAM, but she's an environmentalist, work opinion, which this is something related with new pollution. It's an epidemic. Suicide is just a fact, very different. Like this new type of people, they disappear. They decide to do well.
There's no depression history.
you cannot generalize. Depression is a consensus. If you don't want to go for a campaign, people will consider you are, yeah, they are part of it.
Right. You're talking about that cohort.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot exclude that consensus. It's a definition. It's not biological markers or psychosis or anxiety. It's a definition. You can be depressed. If you have 10, I will give you the label of depression, but these 10 will be different to other, with some other people with other patients will give the same.
Is there any evidence of incest during the time of depression and suicide? Maybe if evidence of many other things, but is there being expressive?
There are plenty of studies with a lot of genes around, with a very confused phenotype, which is what reproducibility in psychiatry is extremely difficult. If you have a gene in a GWAS or any type of study, to reproduce this data, things that here is awful.